let's talk about Nancy Drew.
What is up, gamers?
Specifically, Nancy Drew, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon.
It's a good one. Well, it's our opinion, so I feel like...
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion!
anything is possible.
Okay, so you're invited to a train by the Hardy Boys, and the host of the train is a really rich woman named Lori, and there's 3 other people on the train. They're not that important. And the train used to belong to a guy named Jake in the 1980s, and he mysteriously died, and he supposedly knew where a large gold mine was found. And so you're trying to find out how he died, if his wife's ghost is still haunting the train, and where the gold mine is. 3 things, 3 goals.
There you go.
There you go. Did it.
I think that was a great summary. I'd like to add 2 points.
Please.
He did not own the train in the 1980s. I think it was like the 1890s.
Isn't that what I said? Didn't I say the 1800s?
You said the 1980s. Like,
oh my god.
It's
Get
okay.
out of this channel, Erica. I'm doing nothing but holding you down.
No, you're... Please. And also, Lori disappears at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, that is a very crucial part that I forgot.
Yeah, so basically the plot, well, you know, you summarized it. Those are the main goals. But in the beginning, your goal is like, where's Lori? Because she invites you, well, the Hardy Boys, and they invite you, and a ghost hunter.
You're like a friend of a friend in this.
Yeah. There's a ghost hunter, a romance novelist, and a detective.
Hotshot detective.
Yeah, and she invites everybody to this train. I don't really know I don't remember why. I guess like to find the mine or something. I don't know. And then she calls you all into the room, and at the beginning, the lights go out and she screams, and then she disappears. So, where is she? Where'd she go? Did the ghost take her?
Are ghosts real? That's what Erica and I will figure out on this episode of Ghost Hunters. Brought to you by the Discovery Network.
House Hunters International Ghost Edition.
We only hunt for French ghosts.
Ooh. Oui, oui, baguette. But, yeah, I guess the plot of this game is pretty good. I feel like things happen to move the plot along, you know.
For sure.
You see ghostly figures, you unlock new areas to explore. At one point, the train stops in a town.
Yeah.
And you can get out and explore that, which I liked. You know?
Yeah, the town's kind of nice because there's multiple different places that you can go in it. It's not just like a one-stop shop type of thing. There's actually like a little map. And the town also gives you the opportunity to switch perspectives and you become a Hardy Boy briefly. Speaking of the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys are in this one. This is the first one they're in, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it's Frank and Joe Hardy, and they are working for like American Teens Against Crime or something, which is so ridiculous. And I love it.
It's like the lamer version of Dare.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're mainly there to kind of help you along the way, and then also so you can embody one of them briefly.
Just briefly.
Just briefly.
Only to make a cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger. Not a hamburger.
Not a hamburger.
A cheeseburger. If you had to choose a favorite Hardy Boy, which one is your favorite?
Okay, so that's a really tough call because I don't remember which one was which. However, I think I would say Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the one who has the red hair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like Joe.
I also like Joe.
He's more like, you know, he's a little goofier.
Yeah, he's more fun.
He's not as, he doesn't stick to the books like Frank.
Yeah,
oh, thank God.
Besides the Hardy Boys, there's Lori, the Paris Hilton-esque woman of the hour.
A very good description of her, yes. She's just like this rich girl who Instead of making a series in which she travels around the country with her best friend, she decides to buy this train and kind of pull a little stunt, as we said in the beginning. She pretends to disappear, ends up just going to a very nice car and chilling out. She's not missing at all. And her goal is to find this mine that Jake Harley had, his treasure trove.
His treasure trove.
And then you also have John Gray. I think he might be my favorite character in this game. He is a professional ghost hunter from like a TV show. And his role on the train is to figure out if ghosts are real or not.
He's a fun one. Mm-hmm. And then there's Tino Balducci, who is
really gets in touch with my Italian roots. You know, he's a New Yorker. You know, New York.
No.
Actually, he lives in Chicago.
Yeah.
So he's not a New Yorker, but he, Mama Spaghetti, some meatballs. He's an Italian over in Carlos's Bakery. You would see him on Cake Boss.
That's Jersey.
I think you would see Tino Balducci on Cake Boss.
True. So he's a celebrity detective, basically, because he did some big thing, but he really didn't do anything. So he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
The least fun person,
Charlene Prince.
Yes. She's this super old romance writer who does nothing but sits in the dining car and tries to write her next book. So it's like, why did you show up to this train, ma'am? But yeah, those are pretty much the main cast of characters, our main, I would say, list of suspects, but there's not really anyone to suspect.
Kind of following Jake Hurley's set of clues, and less so like the kind of like bad guy at the end. I feel like is more like tacked on rather than like something you'd been trying to figure out, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I enjoyed them. I thought it was a good cast.
Yes, I agree. I think they gave all of them individual personalities, and you kind of got to get to know them a little bit more. I feel like they weren't just flat characters, which were nice. And yeah, overall, I'd rate the characters pretty highly for this game.
Me too. No flat Stanleys.
No flat Stanleys. I love that book, though. Doesn't matter.
Me too. There were a lot of puzzles. I feel like there was a lot.
There were. They had the big actually there was kind of a couple reoccurring puzzles, because you had the dolls, where you had to search the train to find clues. Jake Hurley's wife was really into dolls, and there was a puzzle in which you had to like figure out all of this information and put them in the right order. But the overall grand master puzzle was to find the location of his mine.
Yeah.
It involved this very complex machine that was actually like a really cool animation once it actually all put together and worked.
It was very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was nice in that there was a lot of pieces to it, but you could kind of do the pieces separately. Like you could put the stuff in as you found it, which I always really appreciate in games. So you're not just carrying around a bunch of items with you. It's kind of like a gradual progression.
Yeah, or you're not just like stuck. Like if you can't do one thing, you can't do anything else, you know. You could kind of work on multiple things at once. I also liked that there were like a doll puzzle, like there was puzzles that you had to like cross-reference things for, but then there were also puzzles that kind of stood on their own in a way. Like there was like a door where you just kind of had
like the pipes.
And the pipes, yeah, you didn't really need to like look up anything else. You just kind of like did it, which I like that there was a mix. The only thing that I didn't understand and will never understand is the slugs and the scales.
That was hard. Yes.
I still do not understand the math behind that at all. I'm just glad we were not on Senior Detective, because it probably was like harder or something, and we would have lost it. But I think overall, great puzzles. I give
Yeah.
it an A if it was a term paper.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say, it's always a lot easier for me to rate the puzzles because I'm not the one who has to do them.
mm,
I just get to watch Erika control it and get to like say hints, but if I don't know what's going on, I just get to like nod my head and be like, uh-huh. So it never like causes me really too much stress. So I
mm.
feel like my rating should always be the same, if not higher than yours. Because if you had a favorable opinion of it and had to go through the pressure of it, then like I definitely, you know. But I would
Mm.
agree. Just overall, I feel like the puzzles I liked them. They were good. So after meeting the strangest mascot in the entire world and finally assembling all of the tools required to make the machine that located Jake's mine on the map. We went and talked to Lori about it, who devised a brilliant plan that we would jump off of the moving train at the point where the mine was, and then she would come back and meet us. And together, the two of us would uncover this mine.
Yeah, I don't really understand why she even gave us a head start because we were like, well, I guess I do understand now because she probably couldn't have found it by herself. But we were like, well, we can just go with everybody. And she was like, no. And that's when you were like, she's definitely going to kill us.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Spoiler alert, she tried to kill us.
getting to the mine was fairly simple until we had to pull those planks, and then I was just like, I have no idea. Like we went back through the path to try to figure out which symbols, and we just did not understand it literally at all. Get it? We had to look it up.
We super Googled it. We
um,
didn't just normal Google it, we super Googled it.
yeah, but I think the best part of the game is when you find the mine. There is no gold per se, but Jake Hurley,
Friendship.
Jake Hurley's treasure was maybe he didn't mean for it to be a treasure. Maybe it was just accidental. But with his actual skeleton, there is a letter from none other than our favorite president, Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. But even better, the letter was written literally on the
The
day.
night he got killed. And in it, it mentioned him going to a play that night.
He
It was
like,
like, I'm writing this and I'm about to get ready for this play that Mary wants me to go to. Like, it's going to be boring.
and he literally gets assassinated.
Literally gets murdered.
So Nancy's like, whoa, this letter is worth a fortune.
Yeah,
But
because Nancy's a gold digger.
yeah, really. But I honestly think for us as two people who are legally obligated because of the school we went to respect Abraham Lincoln at all costs, it seemed like a sick joke, to be
Yeah.
quite honest. But also, it was a twist I did not see coming.
But yeah, so we find Jake's body and he's holding the letter. Once again, the real treasure was friendship.
Mhm.
And then Lori appears and kind of seems like she devises the plan in the moment
But
and
she
is like, wow, like this letter's so cool. It would be great that tell everyone that I found it. And then she's like, oh, it would be even better if I found it alone and not with you, Nancy. And then she's like, it would be the best if you died and I was the only one who survived. And then I would look like a hero. And then she's like, whoops, like mine cave in and like pulls a plank and the mine caves in.
Nancy's like, it's gonna take me too long to move these rocks. And I was like, before what? But luckily for us, there is a mine cart there that
Some good luck.
I don't know what's going on in my house right now. um,
Luckily for us, there was a mine cart.
there was a mine cart. And
And even more lucky, as two former Club Penguin mine shaft surfers, we were able to successfully navigate. We'd done it before. We'd done it for Club Penguin tokens, for the little fish for our penguins throughout our childhood.
It wasn't as hard as it was to get into the mine. It was not very hard to get out, which was kind of a relief because, like, we didn't know what the hell was going on.
And then, so Nancy gets out of the tunnel, and Lori conveniently is on the track, and Nancy just and murders her. And that's how this game ends. No, she bumps into Lori, who falls down, and then like two cowboys riding in, Frank and Joe Hardy appear, and they say, "Nancy, we realized you weren't on the train. What's up?"
And then we're like, not much.
Once again, at the end game, when everything gets sorted out, the punishment doesn't really fit the crime. I mean, Lori tried to murder us, and what happens to her is her dad finds out and she gets her credit cards taken away. So there's no prison time involved.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that's swept under the rug, but I also get that she's rich, so maybe it's really a commentary on the criminal justice system in America.
God, Nancy is so progressive.
What are your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, I think it is a pretty good game. It was a relatively quick game. I mean, it wasn't the fastest game, but I appreciate games a little bit more when they take longer, just because obviously there's more content to it. It takes more time to get involved. But overall, I think that it holds up. If someone was playing an Anteater game for the first time, I feel like this would be a good starter game.
Yeah.
I think it kind of hits all the boxes in terms of character, puzzles, and plot. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I would give it maybe an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I really like this one. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think that the run of Last Train, Old Clock, Curse of Blackmore Manor, and Secret of Shadow Ranch, I know they're not in that order, but I think those are the golden games. They hit a sweet spot. And this is I feel like this was longer than Old Clock, but also I think maybe I just didn't know how to do some of the puzzles. Maybe. But I enjoyed it. I thought that you learned some stuff, but not too much.
Thank God.
I mean,
thank God.
We're going to school, so back up, Nancy, trying to teach me things. But I don't know, I thought it was fun. I really liked the gems. I thought they were pretty. I really liked the machines. Those were pretty. I liked the dolls. They were horrifying. It had it all.
It did.
It allows for nothing. So, yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I can't say enough. Enough nice things.
I can't say enough. And that's all I have to say on the matter.
The next review is
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Wizards of Warnings at Waverly Academy, which we already played.
Spoiler alert.
And spoiler alert, I remembered the game much more well than I thought I did, and we kind of breezed through it.
I've been having dreams about it on a semi-nightly basis ever since we finished playing it.
Ugh.
So stay tuned, not for danger, but for our hot takes of Warnings at Waverly Place. Wizards at Waverly Academy.
Selena Gomez is actually joining us for the episode. I have to say, I need to get this off my chest. I, as a child, thought that Frank was wearing a hat, but it turns out that that is his hair.
The wig.
It's so perfectly round that I thought it was like a cap, but it's just, they want you to believe that's his hair.
They do your boy so dirty. You're a true stan.
I mean, I choose Joe over him.
And you hear that, Joe? The highest compliment you can get. She chose a Hilger over a Hardy Boy.
I meant Joe Hardy. I meant the other Hardy boy.
Oh, never mind, Joe.
My boyfriend, Joe, who is my actual boyfriend, over the animated character, yes. We're gonna edit that out. He never wrote it down.